Yo, what is going on, boys? My name is Max, and today we're coming with a video showing you guys how to build in Season 4 of Fortnite. But before we get into any of that, I just want to quickly mention that if you guys want a chance to win a free Amazon gift card every time we upload, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications to get notified whenever we upload. And every time we upload, we'll have a pinned comment in the comment section with an Amazon gift card code. So if you want the best chances of redeeming it first and winning it, make sure that post notifications are turned on. So good luck to everyone, and let's just hop right into this video. So I'm going to show some building clips here in the background, but before we can even get into the tactics of building, we need to make sure that our binds are all in order and our controls are all good before we even start practicing and getting good at building. So if you're a PC player, you're going to want to make sure your binds are something you can actually hit. The F keys are not that great for building because you have to reach up so far. You have to move your fingers kind of off the keyboard to even get to them. If you've been building like that for a while, I really recommend you change them. Even though you're used to them, I think in the long run it'll be better to have different and better binds. So a player we can look to for advice and to kind of see the way he builds is TSM Myth, the young Ark. He is probably one of the best builders in the game, so there's definitely a lot we can learn from him, and we can firstly just take a look at his binds. So for his binds, he uses Z for his wall, X for his floor, and C for his stairs, and he has his roof unbinded. Well, not unbinded, but he still left it as F4, which I think most of us don't really use the roof anyway, so it's fine to keep it as that. I have it like that as well. So I think his binds are pretty much perfect for PC players. I think that's essentially what most PC players want to use for their binds, or something similar to that. I personally have the ramp and the wall on my mouse buttons, the buttons on the side of my mouse, but everything else is kind of similar. If I didn't use those, I would definitely use his setup. And for you console players, you're definitely going to want to be using Builder Pro, because that is exactly what the name implies. You're going to want to be a better builder, and this is the best way to do it on console. If you guys don't know what Builder Pro is, you've never seen it before, you've never heard of it, let me quickly explain what that is. So it essentially allows you to press one button to get to your building tools, and then another button of, you know, whatever you want to pick to get to what you want to go to, instead of trying to scroll down through all the options to build. So instead of pressing, you know, circle and then scrolling from the wall to the floor to the stairs, you can just press circle and then press whatever corresponding button goes to the thing you want to build. So, you know, right trigger equals stairs, then you just press circle and then right trigger, and then you're at the stairs. And you really want to get these set up. You want to make binds just for yourself. You want to get really comfortable with these binds before you really start getting serious into Fortnite. Maybe you already are kind of serious about Fortnite and you haven't changed your binds yet. I recommend doing it now. You know, it's better late than never, because these will really help you in the long run. Like I said earlier, I think it's super beneficial to get these binds out of the way sooner than later. And yes, it is going to affect your gameplay a lot for the first, you know, however long. I personally took an entire day to switch up all my binds and get it to where I think it would be beneficial in the long run, because when I was first getting started with Fortnite, I didn't want to go on for a long time without changing my binds and then get really used to it and just never be able to switch. So I did it early on, and I'm happy I did. It only took me, you know, a day of playing to really get used to it, but I wasn't really good at the game when I first started doing it anyways, so that may have something to do with it. Either way, new and older players alike, I really think you should look into these better binds and better ways to build, because it'll definitely help you in the long run. So let's get into this Myth clip in particular, because there is something we can learn right off the bat, right when he just starts building, and it's something that is kind of super necessary to know about Fortnite, and this tactic in particular. This 1x1 tower, or as I like to call it, the mobile high ground. And this is a really important tactic to know in Fortnite, because high ground can mean everything in a fight. If you're high enough up and someone wants to get to you, they have to build ramps pretty much straight into you, and if you're always higher than they are by a good margin, whenever they're building ramps up to you, you're always gonna have the angle on them. I'm not sure if I can really describe what I'm talking about, but I hope it kind of makes sense that when they're building ramps up to you, you're always gonna have the angle, you're always gonna have the shot on them, and there's nothing they can really do to block your shots if they're trying to get to you. Assuming you get really good and really fast at building this 1x1 tower, the only other option they really have is to do the same thing as you, but the whole objective of building, I think, is to try and get over the opponent. You want to be directly over the opponent with your building and stop them from building up and over you. In this scenario anyway, if they're also building building a tower, you want to stop them from getting the high ground on you. If they're building their tower, you want to make sure they don't go over you, they're not hovering over you. So you want to extend your tower, you know, maybe build some floors and get over their tower to make sure they aren't going over you. And Myth does that actually in this clip, and he shows you perfectly how to do it. So as you can see here, I'm going to slow the clip down just so you guys can see exactly what he's doing and what's going on through Myth's head when this thing takes place. So Myth builds a little 1x1 tower, you know, not super high, maybe 3 stories or something like that, just enough to get the high ground on the opponent, and then he directly starts going for the build over on his opponent. He wants to make sure that his opponent is not getting over him. He instantly starts building floors and makes sure he cannot come over him at this point. This may seem like a super small step in building, or when you're fighting someone, it may seem really unimportant, but this can be the entire difference of winning and losing the fight. I mean, in fact, if he didn't do this, he might have lost the fight, and that's why this thing in particular is so important to know, to just get over your opponents and don't let them get over you if that's what they're trying to do. That clip alone hopefully taught us a lot. I mean, there's a lot to learn from that whole clip in general, but even that little snippet can help us know a lot about what we should be doing and building and what we should just do in a gunfight in Fortnite. Now we're moving on to Daequan, another very experienced and very good Fortnite player from TSM, and this clip's gonna be super short, but there is something we can take away from this which is very important to building in Fortnite. So as he comes up on the top of this dusty warehouse, he gets up there, and the first thing he does is builds a ramp, because he wants to, at least, no matter what he chooses to do here, if he wants to camp out on that one ramp, if he wants to go for a push here, he just wants to get the ramp down so he can block the bullets, since the opponent probably knows he's coming. I mean, you do see him start shooting at Daequan, but he wants to make sure that he's blocking the bullets and not getting hit as soon as he comes up here, because he would be at a huge disadvantage if he just jumped up and got headshotted and just lost a ton of HP before the fight even really started. So just getting that ramp down and at least blocking the initial bullets is super important already. So there's something very important he's doing here when he's building these ramps and pushing towards this guy. It's that he's building walls in front of his ramps to kind of reinforce them. When he's rushing someone, he doesn't want to get shot down, and on his first attempt of rushing, he actually does get shot down just because the guy's just laying into him. He won't let up his bullets, so he goes for another ramp build. So his second attempt at pushing, the guy starts shooting at his ramps, but actually can't knock him down this time because Daequan has already gotten so close to him, and this guy has no time to knock him off his ramps anymore. And with the wall in front of the ramp, he has to shoot down 2 pieces of a structure to actually get him to fall down. And at this point, Daequan's just way too close. He jumps in and kind of memes on the guy. But this tactic in general is super important to Fortnite. If you're not doing this already, you have to start doing this. Whenever you're rushing, just in general, you want to always reinforce your ramps so that it takes 2 structures to be destroyed and for him to lose his defense. So I'm gonna throw in a clip here of, I think, the perfect rush, what you should be doing every time you want to rush someone, and just the right way to do it. So he does this almost perfectly. This is the perfect way to rush someone in my opinion on Fortnite. He starts with the double ramp. This tactic is also really good when you're rushing someone with ramps. You want to put 2 ramps down so that if someone's shooting at one of them, you can just quickly switch to the other, because then they can't knock you down. They have to knock down 2 different ramps on top of reinforced ones, okay? Notice this guy also reinforces both of the ramps he is using to rush this guy. So not only does he have to shoot through a wall and a ramp, he has to shoot through 2 of those just to get this guy to fall down, and he just can't do it. He is just way too overwhelmed, and this guy is just way too fast at building. That's why it is super important to get really good at this stuff, because that is the whole difference between winning a fight and not. He won this fight strictly because of his building. His building carried him throughout this entire fight. That's all he needed, was just to know how to build correctly. So I hope you guys learned something. I personally use all these tactics in these videos, and I think I'm a pretty decent player, and these will definitely make you a really good player if you aren't already already doing these things. If you guys think I missed any really important tactics of building in Fortnite, let me know in the comments below. I will make sure to check those out. And a very quick reminder here at the end of the video, if you want to win an Amazon gift card, be the first of redeeming it, make sure to turn on post notifications and you'll have a very good chance of winning that Amazon gift card. So yeah guys, that is my time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.